Hi, last week I finished reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. It was very interesting. The movie's coming out in March, and that's why I wanted to check this book out and see how good it is. I saw The Martian. Martian was really good. Need to read that book too. But for now, we had Project Hail Mary, and it was really good. Definitely, I could see this happening today. Hopefully, it doesn't happen today because that would suck. But the science seemed to check out. I mean, I don't have a PhD in anything, but he did a good job of explaining the science without going into too much detail, just enough for the reader to understand what is happening, what is going on. There was a few parts that I was like, I don't know about this. Seems a little far-fetched or a stretch, especially when it came to stuff that was happening on Earth. I'm like, but it's a story, it's a book. I enjoyed it, and it was definitely not what I was expecting going in. The way that he tells the story, Ryland Grace wakes up, has no memory whatsoever. Well, enough memory to be able to do stuff, to figure stuff out, but doesn't remember his name, doesn't remember why he's on the ship. So that was very interesting as Ryland is regaining his memories, or I guess Dr. Grace is regaining his memories. Great way of telling the story. And honestly, it starts off kind of like, why would they do that? Why would he wake up with no memory, and he's the last survivor? So it's like all on him. He's got no memory. That is very risky. But by the end of the book, you find out why he has no memory. It's very interesting, and I found it. For me, I was more interested in the lead up to him leaving Earth than the mission itself. But once we got further into the mission, I was hooked. Couldn't stop reading. I think I got through the book in like 3 or 4 sittings. There was, again, a couple of times where I was like, let's move that story along. I want to find out how the story ends. Is he going to figure out how to save the Earth and the sun, or is he going to fail? But it was a very interesting book. I really liked it, enjoyed it. I definitely recommend reading the book before seeing the movie. I know Hollywood's got kind of a bad track record of movie adaptation from books. Sometimes it's great, sometimes not so much. But they did a good job with The Martian. I need to read The Martian next, and from seeing the previews after finishing the book, I'm like, oh, I know what that's from. I know what's happening here. And so far, it seems pretty faithful to the book. And I can't honestly wait for the movie so that I can actually see these characters, and it's gonna be a good time. I think they're gonna do a good job. The only thing I'm not so much worried about, but wonder, is how are they going to do the movie, present, because again, the book, there's, he's regaining his memories, and the book starts with him on the ship, no memory. So are they going to pick up from there? They'd have to pick up from, I mean, how the book starts. He's got no memory, and that's the interesting part. If they start with finding out that the sun is I'm not going to spoil anything, but something's going on with the sun, and they figure all this stuff out. All the shipbuilding, figuring out how to save the planet, or how to launch the mission to try to save the planet. If they start there, then that's half of the what makes the book special, is him regaining his memory. So but I think they're gonna do a good job, just from what I've seen in the previews. Sometimes it kind of feels like they gave away too much in the previews, but that's honestly been movies lately. Is they give so much in the preview. There's still a lot that they didn't show yet, and I think the final preview just dropped Sunday during the Super Bowl. But it was like, go online to see the preview instead of showing us the preview. But it's going to be a good movie. The book was really good. I recommend it. If I had to give it a rating from 1 to 5, I think I'd go 4. I think I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars. Again, there was a couple of parts where I was like, let's get the story, let's move it along here, folks. But again, there was stuff that had to happen that I don't think could have been avoided. I think it would have cheapened the story if Andy Weir kind of sped through parts. And honestly, by the peak of the story and towards the end, I was glad that he didn't move too fast, because then there's more appreciation. I enjoyed some of the interaction. Try not to spoil anything, but it was a good book. It was a good story. I think you should check it out. It's Project Hail Mary, Andy Weir. Thanks for listening to my first book review. You have a good day.